It is time for the most anticipated match of the night. Jaedong up against Hack here at the GSL Code A with Calder and Wolf.
Our third Zerg versus Terran today, and it's time for Jaedong. He's up against the StarTale player. Just a few minutes ago we saw our first StarTale player today advance to Code S. This parting, he's not back where he belongs, but now it's time for a different StarTale player. For a Terran player, time for Hack.
Yeah, Hack, definitely a really good Terran player that is still a little bit underrated, I feel, but Jaedong is the fan favorite by far. He's one of the best StarCraft 1 players the world has ever seen, and in StarCraft 2, he's already looking pretty good.
I always have to laugh when I see Jaedong in the lobby because he uses his account JD. The story behind is that he can actually not use his nickname on Battle.net because Jaedong contains Dong, and guess what? That's banned.
Banned indeed.
So always makes me smile a little bit. It's like this silly thing, and he has to go for JD because the minimum amount of characters that they have to have in a nickname is 3. But Jaedong with a JD with 2.
Actually, also illegal to use Hangul in your character at GOMTV, so you can't use his name in Hangul either.
Yep. So EGJDRC.
Yep, that is his ID now officially, and of course he's up against Hack, the Terran player on the right, who also fell down from Code S just like Parting. 2 StarTale players who want to get right back in, don't want to waste any time. Neither of these players though, Jaedong nor Hack, wants to have to go through that arduous up and down group.
Yeah, Jaedong practiced a lot with Puma, with Thorzane, Tasia helped him, and he feels ready. He feels that he can take Hack. But Hack has a long history of Code A and also Code S behind him. He's definitely a tough opponent to beat. Not easy, a lot of experience in StarCraft 2.
I feel like Jaedong's strength lies in preparing for one specific opponent, and that would make it really tough for him to play in a group of potentially 5 other players in the up and down. So this is definitely going to be his best chance, I think, of getting into Code S.
Jaedong to the left, rocking his EG shirt. And Hack, of course, to the right here.
Hack needs a haircut, I think. He's looking like a grizzly bear over there.
Yeah, a little bit, but on the other hand, it's winter time, so all that extra hair actually gives him a little bit of warmth.
Yeah, maybe if he loses here, he's going to go hibernate.
Man, I can tell you, if you don't have a lot of hair on your head, it is getting cold outside. I know what I'm talking about, believe me.
Yeah, I wouldn't know why, but I think that you seem to have some sort of experience with talking to people who experience this.
Yeah, I'm an expert on that topic.
Well, we said well at the same time.
Well,
it's time for the intro, and I'm going to do it in about 3 seconds. This is the GSL Code A with Calder and Wolf. It's time for Jaedong versus Hack. The winner of this best of 3 gets into Code S. Map number 1 is Abyssal City. Let's jump right into it.
Beautiful. Well done.
Thank you.
All over the radio and back up in the raves again. We got the crowd on the wave like it's a stadium.
Starting to the left side of the map, starting for the evil geniuses, it is the one and only
EGJD Ladycore.
Jaedong. Sorry, Street Fighter voice, but no.
Well,
imagine if you're new to StarCraft 2 and you actually see that nickname. You're like, okay, so which one of those two letters is actually his nickname now? Right side of the map, his opponent, starting for StarTale, the guy who called himself after a nuclear missile. It is
StarTale Hack.
Yeah, and just to refresh everybody on that, this guy actually is Zenex Nuke, back from the day. He changed his ID to the Korean word for nuke.
Just think about how they will have to introduce Jaedong in Pro League. TLEGJDRC.
Yeah.
Not really what you try to go for.
No, not necessarily.
Just think about what would happen if we would have to go through that ordeal every single time we mention his name.
Well, I would never say it that way.
I would only resort to the Zerg.
I would just call him Jaedong. Everybody knows what team he would be representing in that case.
Yeah, but they would force us for some weird reason. Well, in this game now we have a very nice opening here for Hack with a command center on the high ground and the barracks completely walled off, so no chance for the drone to get in there and get some scouting information. Spawning pool for Jaedong here with a normal timing.
He's not going to... You know, the thing is, you're so right in that sense that he's not going to be able to get scouting information, but He's already seen, what there is
Yeah.
because he sees the command center, but, really importantly, though, he can't do any damage in the early pool, and he can't do any gas steals.
Yeah.
If Hack wants to go for the double gas follow-up to this, which a lot of players do, that if the drone got in, he would have been in trouble with that.
But you're actually right. I mean, I phrased it a little bit silly. Of course, he sees that there's a command center and he sees everything that can be there at that time. He does not know about the gas timing, though.
And that's exactly right. That is, if you make your command center on the low ground, there's no way to stop that drone from getting in. You can't make enough. There's the winner prediction, by the way, at the bottom, 72%. But yeah, you can't make it the deep pool. You don't have enough minerals to do that, to block the drone out and go CC first and hope that you can stop him from seeing if you take 1 or 2 gas. It just
Talking
can't
about the gas timings, by the way, Jaedong is going for a bit of a faster gas here. So we have him with an early speed in this game, and then the question is going to be, well, do you pull out of gas? Do you leave like 1 in or actually 3? Map rate for both of them on a Business City. It's one of the newer maps that we have in the map pool, so therefore only a very small sample size.
Very true. The factory now is going down. He's going to move this barracks a little bit closer. Going to make the wall with the reactor right away.
Jaedong pulled out of gas, by the way.
Yes.
Only 1 drone left instead of 3. So now he has the speed that will help him to deal with the Hellions. He knows, of course, that they will most likely be played by Hack here. And as Wolf already said earlier, Jaedong is one of those guys, one of those Casper players that really prepare very well for one opponent, and that's what he will have done in this particular scenario. He will have prepared for Hack, and Hack has a lot of games out there that he can study. And Jaedong, of course, does want to prevent to go into the up and downs, as does Hack. But for Jaedong, he's like this guy who wants to prepare for one specific opponent for those maps. And if you suddenly have to face 5 other players in the up and downs, that's always really, really... Yeah, that's nasty stuff. Can't really prepare that well.
It's really hard to prepare. That's not the style that Kessel players are used to, because in tournaments that Kessel players played in, you would never have to play in a group that was like that, ever. Just didn't exist. And so there's a very different type of preparation that goes into the way that the Esports Federation has developed their tournaments so far.
Currently for Jaedong, of course, a bit of creep spread going on here. Also back with more than only 1 drone in gas, gets the extra extractors as well, and has now the resources to go into Hive.
Yes. And we'll see when Hack decides to add his own engineering base. He's getting the stim up, adding a bunch of tech labs. It looks like he's going to go for a Marauder Hellion build here with stim. He's going to go for triple barracks Marauder Hellion. This is something that Jaedong probably doesn't have a ton of experience with, but it's not like he's never seen it before. This Overlord was almost the ender of games. If he had seen those 2 barracks, the game would have ended because he would have been unprepared.
The thing is, if you do not have a clue about this build, you have a very, very good chance of dying. This is a very strong push. This is something that Fold used to do on 2 bases, and it's very strong. It just hits before Mutalisks would be out. That's how we usually play with it. And what we I mean, he plays it a little bit different than Paul does. Paul used to move out as soon as he had like 11, 12, 13 Hellions and 6 Marauders. That's the time when Paul would move out. Hack plays it a little bit different with how he actually builds those 3 barracks. So it's a bit of a different timing that he goes for, but still, this will hit very, very early. It will hit before there is a potential mute-up play, and this is deadly stuff.
Yeah, this is really deadly stuff. He's not messing around here. This is actually an all-in. I mean, there's not really a transition point out of this if you don't do enough damage to make it so that Jaedong is actually like a stump on the ground trying to crawl forward with his chin, like Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, but there come the Zerglings.
Oh, wow, this is actually the perfect time for Jaedong. He needs to raise that depot, of course, but he's going to lose SCVs, and he's going to see everything here.
He saw the Marauders. If not for those Marauders, it wouldn't have been that bad, because then he could just have sent down a few of his
He's raised that depot. Oh, that was close. That was really close, but the attack is still on here, and even though he's seen it, he needs time to get these Zerglings out, and only 20 Speedlings against this many Hellions is not going to be the answer.
No, and here come the Marauders,
They
and
have
now
stim.
it gets really, really difficult for Jaedong to hold this. The Queen is just melting away, and now here come the reinforcements, and this is Jaedong trying to defend, pulling his drones, trying to go in, Zerglings from every angle. The baiting nest is just not ready. +1/+1 isn't done yet. The perfect timing for Hack.
Yeah, everything works out for him here. Yeah, Jaedong got the scout off, but he didn't have the proper tech to defend. 1-1 finishes after he's dead, and losing all those lings trying to attack Hack definitely doesn't help in their defense. He had so many fewer units than he would have otherwise if those lings were at home. Maybe then he could have gotten spine cores up, By the way, if you don't scout this build with your Overlord, you're probably going to lose.
Yeah, this is just one of the most horrible builds to face as a Zerg play. If you don't see that early, then you just have no chance to prepare. And this is just Jaedong dying. All his hopes are gone. 15 drones left. This is just not enough against the Terran player.
GG.
GG indeed. Hack looking a bit like a boss there. He's like, yep, that's what I practiced, that's what I trained for, and it went well.
That's exactly how things went for Hack.
What does he have in his hand? Is that one of those alufoil hats that is supposed to help you against aliens?
That's what it looks like. I'm not really sure what that was, actually.
Man, we all know that Moon is the alien. Jaedong is the tyrant.
Yeah.
You need a pitchfork against him.
There's Hwani, by the way, stepping into Jaedong's booth, just giving him a little bit of talks.
What is that? Is that chocolate?
It looks like tinfoil. Literally.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that is.
But a well-played strategy and well-practiced by Hack. This is just... There are just builds around that Terran have that they can use against the Zerg, and it's a really... These are all-in builds, but if they're not scouted, then they can hit so darn hard. And this is exactly what happened to Jaedong. He tried to go in with an Overlord, but the Marine was there, chased it away, and everything was just well executed by Hack. Yeah. And the problem for Jaedong is 1-1 too late, no Banelings, just nothing. This is so difficult to hold.
It really is. This is an attack that...
Actually, no. Sorry to interrupt you there, but you know that how Jaedong always played with Roaches in this matchup when he first came and played a WSS Korea qualifier? That would have helped him.
That would have really helped him for sure. He probably wishes that he had done a build like that in this case, but it all came down to scouting. That one Overlord was so close to seeing, but he just did not see what he needed to see. Guys, right now there are people watching this game. Their roommates are studying for finals. You need to go in your roommate's room right now and tell him he needs to get his priorities straight. He's worried about whether or not he's going to pass physics, but he needs to be worried about whether or not Jaedong or Hack is getting straight into Code S. Tell him to get his priorities straight, seriously.
Yeah, this is not about their future, man. This is about Jaedong's future right now. Code A, well, up and downs or Code S, we're gonna find out. And Giga Shipyard is gonna be map number 2, and here we go. GSL Code A, round of 3, Jaedong versus Hack with Calden Wolf.
All over the radio and back up in the raves again. We got the crowd on the wave like it's